What's up guys, CyberHoudini here and welcome back to your daily dose of gaming. We've got a special daily dose for you guys here with all the crazy rumors going on lately around a possible Silent Hill game coming. I thought it'd be time to break down all the crazy coincidences and rumors. Now whether they're real or not, it's still very strange timing going on for sure. All centered around one mysterious brand new studio that kind of came out of nowhere. So it's interesting. So we're going to be explaining the Silent Hill ICEBERG. I've noticed like a lot of these videos popping up on YouTube. I thought it'd be cool to do one live. Hell yes. It's something I wanted to talk about for a while on the Daily Dose, but it always felt like it was just going to be like, you know, a last little piece of news. But the way things are exploding with new news and you know, things been shut down, I thought it'd be a good idea to go over everything, you know. We're all extremely hyped for a new Silent Hill to the point of explosion. Jesus Christ. It's, you know, when fan bases are waiting and waiting to get almost ravenous, you know. How's it going, Dynamite? Hello. Welcome on in. Welcome. We're going over some of the latest rumors about a possible Silent Hill game. And Fire Lily as well. Hello, my little notification squad. How are we doing? There's some nasty bug with Streamlabs where it's just cutting off everything and there's nothing I can do. It's so bad. So either I lose chat or I lose fucking the ability to move scenes. Like, well done! Please fix it. Thank you, Streamlabs. Much love. Sincerely yours, someone who wants to use your fucking service. Cheers! Alright, so let us move over and let's break this down. So first of all, we're going to start with a cheeky little trailer. Now it's a very cool trailer for Abandoned. This is the game in question, and this is the dev in question, the Blue Box Studios. So this game is apparently PS5 exclusive, possibly coming to PC. Now we've seen this trailer a while back. They have yet to show any actual gameplay, but clearly they're going for, you know, realism, you know, high fidelity first person horror simulator, you know. Apparently there'll be no HUD. How you'll check your ammo is you'll actually like pull the clip out and check how many bullets are in it, and any kind of like injuries you get, you have to check your body and all that kind of stuff. So it sounds really cool. Like at the end of the day, if these rumors turns out to be false, we're still getting what seems to be a very awesome, cool little indie horror game, which we definitely need more of that for sure. It's giving me Outlast vibes as well. It won't be the first time we've had a first-person Silent Hill, but definitely the way like new horror games like Outlast and that, and Layers of Fear, and now Resident Evil have all kind of made that push over to first-person. I wouldn't doubt like Konami wanting to do that. So yeah, a lot of the bigger questions are like, you know, is Kojima involved? That to me, like, as much as I'd love to believe that to me is the biggest red flag, because I know that he really does not want anything got to do with Konami right now, you know. So the only way he would be involved would be if it's his own personal IP, or if Sony has bought the IP from Konami or something, which was going around for a bit. But yeah, it's a very straightforward little trailer. They were supposed to be showing off a reveal and an app apparently on the 22nd, but they pushed it back. You know, so we might as well get started with basically what started all of this off. It's a now deleted tweet, and basically it basically said that the true name of Abandoned that's not its real name. The actual game starts with the first letter being S and the last letter being L. So of course this sends the fucking internet into a crazy spin, as you would, you know. I mean, it could mean anything. It could mean survival, which is entirely possible that it is survival, seeing as it seems to be more of a survival style game, you know. But you know, we know survival horror, but we'll see. So imagine, you know, people obviously went crazy about it being Silent Hill. It is a very mysterious game. I mean, that's all we've seen, that one trailer, and we know nothing about this studio. But it's interesting. It is very interesting. To me, like, where PT was going, which eventually was going to become Silent Hills, it made me think that they wouldn't necessarily throw away all that progress, you know. And it has slowly become, you know, PT, Silent Hills, and now Abandoned. They've slowly become this crazy kind of, this bubbling rumor mill, and just it's getting to the levels of like Half-Life 3. Like, people are just dying to see something from this. The new event is so adorable. Yeah, I was looking at it on my phone. It's pretty cool. You got to build these little boats. Very, very cute. So yeah, I can't see them throwing away all of that stuff. Like, I know Kojima himself, he was trying to work with Guillermo del Toro and Junji Ito. So these are huge names in the horror sphere. So you know, I don't know. It's funny. I don't think you would want to, you know, if you've got these people hyped up to make a game together, you're not going to want to go, oh well, that's off, bye now. You know, you want to establish that relationship and keep it going. So I well believe that Kojima is probably working on his own style of horror game. Now, whether it's something got to do with Silent Hill, I don't know. Also, we know that there are Silent Hill games coming. We know that Bloober, the Layers of Fear developer, are working on their own Silent Hill game. That's completely separate. Now, they've done this before. Konami have done this before. After Silent Hill 4, they decided now is the time to branch out. So they went and handpicked a lot of developers from all around the world to make some spin-off Silent Hill games, and we kind of saw where that went. You know, Silent Hill Homecoming, I think, being one of the worst, I believe, worst received anyway. You know, the first one I started off with was Silent Hill Origins, which I believe was PSP or PS Vita, but it was meant to be a kind of like Silent Hill 0. You know, it was meant to be a prequel to the first Silent Hill. You know, as time has passed, that game definitely deserves like a remake, because I think it had a lot of good potential to it. The issue with all of the American or the Western, let's say Western, that's better because they're not all from American studios, but the Western Silent Hill games was usually the combat. That seemed to be always the issue, you know. But if you look back across melee combat, across all of the Silent Hill games, you'll actually see that it does kind of, you know, melee combat does always seem to be the weak point, where you've got that kind of tank controls and old Resident Evil vibes. And even as we got further into it, you know, things got better with Silent Hill 3, which I think is the sweet spot. And then Silent Hill 4 did a pretty good job, but a lot of that was also kind of, I don't know, it was a funny one. They wanted you to do a lot of running in that game. There was like ghosts in the end, and it was more running than anything. But yeah, so it's always been a funny series. Like, it's still, I think, the GOAT when it comes to survival horror. It may even be above Resident Evil, in my opinion. But it always has put the horror first and the combat second, whereas Resident Evil was combat and guns and rocket launchers in the end first, and you know, horror second. But, you know, one is zombies and the other one is just something else entirely. Me personally, like, I never want survival horror or the horror genre in general to ever go away. You know, it's a genre that is near and dear to my heart, and I love it. I love a good spook, so I don't want them to go away. So, kind of what's been going on with Blue Box Studios, they've obviously had to kind of step back now, unfortunately. But the weirdest thing is, as they've stepped back and said that they're not working on Silent Hill, it's also raised even more eyebrows, even more sus stuff, because the funny thing is, all of this happened way back when Hideo Kojima was actually showing off Metal Gear Solid. He's a tricky fella. He's always been known to throw out a couple of red herrings on purpose, even going so far as to creating a whole fake studio, and this is where Blue Box comes into it. So back then, when he was trying to show off the Phantom Pain, this crazy little studio popped up called Moby Dick Studios. And if you know the story of Moby Dick and the white whale and that, it made perfect sense. I mean, even one of the developers was completely covered in bandages and stuff, you know, which actually ended up being a huge plot point in Phantom Pain, you know. So you can tell that there's a lot of these kind of roots. There are definitely a lot of people are up in arms over this. So it's interesting. Would he pull the same thing again? It's highly possible. But this is where I kind of draw the line, me personally, because I don't think if this happens to be a Silent Hill game, I don't think Kojima's going to be involved. Because he's, you know, they had such a horrible falling out. I don't think he ever wants to work on either of these properties again, unless Sony buys them. But who knows? Who knows? So right now, Abandon has a Q4 2021 release date. So that's probably anytime, you know, fall or even early next year. Depends if it means like financial quarter. So there's a good bit of time left, you know. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So yeah, they have deleted that tweet about, you know, first first letter S, last letter L. But I still think there's something there. I really do, because you know it's too close to the bone. And I have went over to their Twitter, and I have just watched everything, every little reply, and they never really once kind of came out and fully denied it either. They were just basically saying like, hopefully our game will live up to your expectations and things like that. And yeah, the laundry list, like if there's 1 or 2 coincidences, you're like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But when there's 12, 15, 20 coincidences, then it starts to build a puzzle, you know? It starts to build a puzzle together in your mind. You put all these pieces together, and what do you get? So yeah, Blue Box Studios have basically not really worked on anything. A lot of the guys who have said they work for Blue Box, a lot of their LinkedIn profiles, their profile pictures are using stock images, like, you know, where you find them yourself, and they'd have that stupid watermark on them. They're literally like that. Their YouTube page, their fucking YouTube, where is it here? The YouTube page is this. This is what it is, right? It has freaking hills in the background. Now, anyone who's just got like a PC and you need a good background, you'll know that these hills is just one of the stock images that YouTube lets you pick. But it's just so weird that it happens to have like fog and fucking hills. Now, I know that that's a bit of a stretch, but still, it's weird. If you're about to launch a fucking game, you've just got a dead YouTube channel, nothing there, not even the first trailer for Abandon is on it. I'm just saying, this is all very, very strange stuff. Also, people were trying to connect a tweet from Kojima himself. He basically bought a couple of new horror books, and people being, you know, crazy like wizards that they are, they managed to find the word silent in one of the books, you know, being the silent wife, and then the title of the other book is from the novelist Joe Hill. So of course they see Silent Hill, you know. And the fact that he doesn't really tweet out this kind of stuff very often. But I don't know about that. That also feels like a big stretch for me. Another one as well, straight from the horse's mouth. Konami themselves, just recently, out of nowhere, decided to drop some new merch. And they don't do that very often. And it just happens to be Silent Hill themed. Oh yes. Now I know we've had the Silent Hill stuff pop up in Dead by Daylight and that. But it's very funny. I think they were like Silent Hill skateboards and that. But yeah, another thing as well is a lot of the Abandoned stuff was also liked by Kojima and Konami and stuff. So something is definitely going on. Of course, like the fan base is just absolutely rabid right now, you know. Every tweet right now, people are going crazy. So I kind of sort of feel bad on one end for the indie developer, you know, Blue Box, because they're getting absolutely inundated. When this news started to pile up, and a lot of the bigger websites coined in on their little take on it, they went from like 2,000 followers to like 20,000 or something crazy like that. What are they up to now? 31,000. So you can tell that they've garnered a hell of a lot of exposure from this. I'll still play the hell out of this, you know. I don't think they're trying to mislead people. I think some of their wordage, especially that one tweet with the S and the L, you know, you're kind of looking for trouble at that point, especially when we know so little about Abandon. But they're hoping to show off gameplay soon. But they are very cagey, you know, very, very cagey. One of their CEOs, the owner of the company, his initials was HK. So, of course, people went fucking crazy thinking this was Hideo Kojima, right? Because he has done this before with Metal Gear Solid 5. So, people were like, okay, here we go. So, it got so bad to the point that they, the actual owner, this guy by the name of Hassan, had to come out and do a little video basically saying, hey, we're not working with Konami, my name's Hassan, all this. But there is something very strange. Now, he's hired actors before, and he does have this weird kind of hired actor vibe, but he might just be nervous on camera too. When you've 30,000 people yelling at you, it can get pretty crazy. But as you can see, they now are trying to basically deny everything. But we know for a fact, even Nintendo love to do this as well. They will deny everything up until the day when they announce it. You know, so when I hear them say, Nintendo say they're not going to do a Zelda collection, I'll believe it when I don't see it, basically, you know. Hello, Megan, how you doing? How was your week been? We're just talking some Silent Hill goodness. So yeah, we're going over here. I've been going over their Twitter with a finely tooth comb. They also have this other studio, Nuar, yeah. They're an outsourcing studio. Basically, they've worked on a lot of PlayStation games, and they're helping out like kind of like what Bluepoint do with porting and that, you know. But still, it's very, very interesting. So look, he had to do a whole video basically saying, you know, but everyone was saying like, oh, he keeps looking to the side and reading the script and all this. But yeah, like I said, you got to be careful with fan bases because they get rabid, absolutely rabid.
Really associated with Hideo Kojima.
But yeah,
an actor.
I don't know.
Not working on Silent Hill.
I'm on the fence right now. In some ways I think this is like the perfect marketing idea, and then on the other side I'm like, okay, this has just gotten completely out of control. But still, very, very fun to be a part of because
we'll talk more.
I'll play the hell out of it. So yeah, he just kind of seemed nervous, but who knows? Who knows? He might just be a cool dude. Like, I wish the best for them. I you know, if it's not Silent Hill, I won't hate them for it. You know, I know a lot of fans are already talking about that. It's like, this isn't Silent Hill. You've got a lot to answer for. Blah blah blah. Swear to God. But yeah. So yeah, they've said it's coming to PS5 and PC, which is great. But yeah, people still think that it might actually be something got to do with Silent Hill. Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm kind of 50-50. There is so much weirdness adding up, you know, even for an indie dev. And I hate to say it, but a lot of indie devs, even though they, you know, might have smaller budgets and that, they do tend to do a lot of their own marketing and publishing and that. So to have their, and especially like, you know, social media, so to have their your YouTube page without the trailer or anything is so very sus. Now that could just be a made up YouTube. Someone could have made it up, you know. Now everyone was even getting into the whole idea of the blue box. A blue box is also something else as well. A blue box was known as, I think it was like an old like spy. What did you say? It was like a spy telephone basically, which kind of makes sense what they're going for. But yeah, you look these guys up and they're getting an unimaginable amount of exposure right now. Yeah, Q4, but I'm excited for it. It's still like a first-person survival game. They're going for like high-fidelity realism. Like this forest looks insanely real, and so does the gun as well. Yeah, very, very cool. Good. How's everybody? I'm doing good. Yeah, here we go. During the 1960s. A blue box phone. It was basically like a spying thing. Pretty interesting. So think of it like as a fake telephone, or in this case, a fake studio. But they've said that the blue in blue box doesn't stand for blue either. So there's a lot of KG, very interesting stuff. It's interesting. Oh, Vex! Oh, Vex, thank you so much for the raid. Hello! Welcome, raiders! Welcome, all you beautiful beings. Hello, 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 hello. There she is. Thank you so much for that. How was the rest of DBD? DBD. I gotta find out what Claire looks like. Jesus. I just played her with her as Resident Evil 2 remake. So if they really did turn her into a zombie, good God. Maybe that's like a nod to something else. Ooh, if you guys haven't here, please go over and give Vex a follow and a hug. Do it for me. Hello, hello, hello. You have a screenshot of Claire. Nice, nice. Yeah, Vex says she looks like straight up zombie. So we're talking about this whole abandoned, this Silent Hill thing that's going on right now. It's a crazy rumor mill that's kind of getting out of control. Oh, yeah, thank you everyone for coming over. Hello, Turbine. Hello. Hello. How's everybody doing? You guys are gonna adore Cyber. Oh, don't you dare. You're too nice. You're too nice. I hope everyone's going well with the job search and that. I know you're kind of probably in the middle of waiting for news. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. It's kind of hard to eat Chinese food, but it's working out. Keeping them crossed. So any Resident or any Silent Hill fans out there, I know there's some Silent Hill goodness in Dead by Daylight. I'm glad they did that. It's nice. I'm still waiting for them to bring Chucky over from Child's Play. I just want to see that little dude in the dungarees running around with a little knife in his hand. Yeah. Be like one of the puppets from Emily Wants to Play. Good God. Good God. Have I seen Young... No, I haven't. I haven't. Has he been discussing it as well? It all started with this game, this abandoned game, which is meant to be a first-person horror game where it'll have no HUD. It does look real, right? Where you're just going to be... you know, if you get injured, you have to, like, check your body, or if you want to see how many bullets you have left, you have to, like, take the clip out and look at it. But yeah, the rabbit hole has gone deeper than ever. We were supposed to get some news on the 22nd, and they've delayed it, which is also a little sus. But yeah, this possibly could be a new Silent Hill. That's what they're saying. It's all very, very unusual. Like, if there's 1 or 2 coincidences, I'll just go, that's nothing, that's fine. But we're up to nearly 20 coincidences. It's crazy. From everything from, like, Kojima, like, tweeting out, having the words Silent and Hill in the tweet, you know. This is a guy who mainly tweets in Japanese, so for, you know, every now and then his English tweet to have Silent Hill in it is interesting. Also, we have stuff like their YouTube channel for the developer behind Abandoned, Blue Box. Actually, this is their YouTube channel. It just has a picture of a whole lot of hills on it, and they don't even have their own trailer on their YouTube channel. So I don't know about you, but that sounds a little sus. Now, Kojima has done this before with Metal Gear Solid 5. He created a whole fake studio called Moby Dick Studios, so it could easily be what's going on. And it ended up being a completely fake studio. One of the developers was like a dude covered in bandages, which ended up being a character in the game. So, yeah, it was very, very sus. But we'll see. We know that Kojima has fallen out with Konami. We'll have to see. Oh, thank you. Thank you for following, Danny. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm a massive Kojima fan. Yeah. You hated the fact that he did. Yeah, maybe there must have been something there, right? Because most voice actors, they might have a little bit of an ego, but you know, I wouldn't say they're as expensive as actual actors, right? I want Chucky too. That would be amazing. Cyber's the Encyclopedia. No, this is just a little thing I do. Daily dose of gaming. Just kind of catching up on gaming news, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about this because I love a good rumor. I love a good rumor as much as the next person. Yeah, right? Oh, gee, thank you for coming over and following, guys. And thank you, Vex. You're the best. You're the fucking best. I gotta go play some Dead by Daylight. I suck at it. I played it once, got stuck in the queue, got stuck in the lobby. It's like, I want no more of this lobby simulator. Because I got the patience of a small child with an ice cream slowly melting into my hand. Damn it. So yeah, this is the only trailer we've got so far. Kind of why it's repeating, just while we talk about it. But yeah, it just goes on and on. Like, they got to the point where they actually had to deny on their Twitter that they've anything got to do with Konami. But I mean, that's usually what developers do. I know it sounds ridiculous. Like, geez, if we said the game is coming, then the game's coming. But if we say it's not coming, you still think the game's coming. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But honest to God, the amount of coincidences are just ridiculous. Like, one of their tweets that they put out, basically, sorry for your eyeballs. Some websites don't have dark mode, and I don't know why. Because they're stupid like that. But every website should have dark mode. But yeah, the initial tweet from Blue Box that kicked off everything was this one right here. They basically said that their game is not called Abandoned, but it's actually, its actual name starts with the letter S and ends with the letter L. So of course people are like, sweet baby Jesus. It's like that one meme where your man's like, it's happening, it's happening. What have I won? You've won a year's supply of Q-tips. Only a year? Damn. I'll go through that in about a week. How about Q-tips, but it's like Jenga. Extreme. Extreme. So yeah, this is that. We're gonna play some Biomutant after this as well. And I just got my hands on Demon Souls. Oh yes. Oh yes, lots of games. So a lot of people were trying to put together the idea behind their banner, Blue Box, saying that it's very close to the PlayStation Studios banner, which is a bit of a stretch. I mean, they are working on a PS5 exclusive, but they said it's also coming to PC, so see about that. But a lot of PlayStation games are doing that too. One of the biggest red flags for me was a lot of the employees that work for Blue Box, supposedly, if you go to their LinkedIn, they all use stocked images of people just standing around, you know, like Jerry in The Office. So, you know, that's very weird. Maybe you don't want to use your real photo, that's fine, but you probably best just to leave it blank. Using a stock photo sounds very odd. Very, very odd. Also, this for a small studio that before this kicked off had less than 2,000 followers, but some of those followers were the likes of Kojima, Jeff Keighley, who we know practically is best friends with Hideo Kojima. So a lot of fishy stuff right there, you know. And a lot of their tweets were liked by, you know, Konami and Kojima and all that, you know. It's very, very interesting. This could all be nothing. And I think this game will be great no matter what. Like, I love good old-fashioned survival horror, you know? And we need more of it. And if it doesn't happen to be Silent Hill, then that means we get this and more Silent Hill. Because we know Bluebird, the guys behind Layers of Fear and the Blair Witch game, they're also working on a Silent Hill game. Silent Hill deserves to come back in a big way. It is the godfather of survival horror. You know, Resident Evil did a lot more combat focus, but it was Silent Hill that truly made us piss our beds at night. There we go, I said it, damn it. Damn it! Yeah, let me see, what else? Yeah, I was saying about Konami as well, just happened to announce, and they never really do this, new merch, all based around Silent Hill as well, which is interesting. The last good Silent Hill game was probably Silent Hill 4, you know, from Team Silent. But in terms of the Western ones, Shattered Memories was pretty good. That was really cool. They used like an ice effect instead of the snow that we know. We all thought it was ash, but apparently it is snow. But yeah, we had a lot of strange Western ones. There was Homecoming, which people did not like at all, Silent Hill Homecoming. But I hate to be that guy, but I think there's a little bit of good in each of the Western Silent Hill games. Like, obviously they're nowhere near the likes of 2 and 3, but I mean, even by the time we got Silent Hill 4 The Room, it started to slip a little bit, but there were some great ideas in that game. It was kind of just once you left the room, you're like, uh-oh. Yeah, Book of Memories was the last one. Oh god, that one was bad. It was a top-down view, kind of like Diablo or something. Yeah, that was not Silent Hill. Good god. Yeah, we also got the HD collection, which a lot of people would agree, any fans of Silent Hill would agree, it's best to stay far away from that collection. It was badly done. Apparently it was rushed. They got less than a year to do it, because at the time Konami wanted to do this special like month of horror stuff, you know, where they were going to release multiple Silent Hill games at once, and then they end up pushing it back. Instead of releasing all this cool Silent Hill stuff in October like they planned, they pushed it all back to March. So the month of horror was in the middle of March. Okay, yeah, so it was a disaster, and I feel bad for the developer. The story behind the Silent Hill HD collection is very interesting. They feel so bad about it, you know, whereas Konami couldn't give a shit. They'll just push it out if it makes money. But the developer behind it knows what they did, you know, and you go and look at it, and even the, you know, the iconic Silent Hill fog, it just looks like someone smeared the camera. It's super bad. A lot of the audio is broken. They went and re-recorded a lot of the voice acting, which just completely, in my opinion, just destroys a lot of the game. Like, the voice acting in those games back then was kind of comical at times, like old Resident Evil as well. But it suited it, you know? It was traditional the way it was. So to go back and do that, it gave it a weird after-school special, like, oh no, stepbrother! You know? What are you trying to do? So yeah, like, this kind of game kind of reminds me, like, Abandon, the look of it reminds me closer to something like Get Even, if you've seen that game. But, you know, there's definitely foggy, definitely a spooky vibe to it. We'll have to wait and see, you know? I'm hoping PlayStation will do some kind of event shortly enough. Because they don't really do E3 anymore, and we've all gone past E3 at this point. Kind of left basically wanting something from Sony, because it was a very mediocre E3. Got some nice surprises, but we're missing, you know. It's the big tree, it's the tripod. Without Sony there, it all falls down. So we need some goodness from them for sure. Oh yeah, there was Downpour as well. That was the one all about rain. Yeah, Silent Hill Downpour had some, actually, in my opinion, had some goodness to it. You actually went back to Silent Hill as well, which is good. And Shattered Memories, that was the Wii one. That had no combat in it, I think. It was the one where you were just holding a flashlight around, and it was all based on ice, but it was a really cleverly done. Like, yeah, it was actually a reimagining. Cool, cool. So there's a lot of love for Silent Hill. It's time to bring it back. Boop. Aw, cheers, Vex. You're the best. Yeah. I remember when I played as Myers in DBD. Yeah, exactly. I was very bad at Dead by Daylight. No jokes for me. No jokes. All I remember is spinning around, synchronizing, spinning on the ground. That was fun. I learned a lot. I'll now become a synchronized survivor. Holy diver! Who else could they add to Dead by Daylight? Like, they're getting to that point where they're really putting like so many great franchises in there. What else could they do? I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more. Like, we got Freddy in there. Did they ever get around to doing Jason? I don't think so, right? It was so much nonsense because of the Friday the 13th game. Apparently, I think they had the rights to put like Jason from Friday the 13th number 9 or something like that. Or was it 5? I can't remember. And basically because of the rights had they didn't renew the rights, and then it all kind of fell asunder. Friday the 13th had potential, but it was so janky, and then the developer just kind of cut and run. They were like, oh, we're done with this game, we're moving on to Predator. And then they made a pretty mediocre Predator game to them. So I'll keep an eye on that developer and probably stay away from them. But the guys over at Dead by Daylight, they were working on a couple other games, weren't they? Hey, Cyber, happy Tuesday. Hello, Elaine. How's it going? Elaine was playing some Dead by Daylight as well. Elaine, you should definitely give Vex a follow there in the chat. She's been playing Dead by Daylight a long time. She'll give you some tips, some tricks. Maybe you guys could even play together. It would be cool if they started making bigger lobbies, right? Because right now it's 4v1, right? What about like 8v2? By the end, the maps wouldn't be able to hold it, would it? 2 killers. I've seen somebody, there was a great clip on Twitter where they were playing as, and all the survivors became the killer. So they were just running around trying to track down the killer. It was so funny, not like Legion or anything, they were genuinely, and the killer couldn't stop them all. So they ended up cornering the killer, and they couldn't move, so it was so funny. It was a really cool clip. I'm like, I've never seen this happen before. And of course the streamer then was just in tears laughing because I was just surrounded by people. It was funny. It was good. Alright. Let us see. So, we've talked about Kojima being tweeting out some stuff. We know he has a history going to the point of creating a whole fake studio. Anything could happen. Let's see. Here we go. This is one that's very concrete. The actual Silent Hill, one of the Silent Hill composers themselves. Jesus Christ, IGN, my poor eyes. I consent to Almighty God. Just put it in dark mode, please. That he has tweeted out that there's a new Silent Hill game coming. And, like, usually the composer, you know, between voice acting and composing the music, that's usually some of the last stuff that happens, right? So, yeah, you'd think that, you know, if there is something coming, we probably could be getting close. And with Bloober doing their own thing, they would have their own composers, obviously, for, you know, the likes of Layers of Fear and the Blair Witch game and the new game The Medium, which is also coming to PlayStation now, which is pretty cool. I'll probably play it. Yeah, it's interesting. So they'll be doing their own thing, I think. You know, they're a Polish studio. They're really good. They worked on Observer as well. Really good studio. I would well believe that the job that this guy has done probably could be on a separate game, because there may be multiple Silent Hill games coming, you know. The issue with them using more Western developers is, yeah, could we get some stinkers? To wait all that time for a new Silent Hill game, only for it to be a stinker, could be crazy. I would rather see Kojima back at the helm, you know, because I don't think Konami themselves right now, I don't think they're capable of making a game anymore. They fully moved over, even though they have a massive IP library and they have a massive following, you know. They've completely moved over to doing things like slot machines and Kerplinko machines. You wouldn't believe it. The last thing they did was like Metal Gear Survive or something, which was Metal Gear Solid with zombies. That's all you need to know about that. Unless you get that thing for free, do not play it. Good God. So yeah, they've fallen from grace for sure. I mean, this is a studio with probably coming up on like over 40 years of video game experience, you know, from the likes of Castlevania and Contra, you know, like growing up with these things and then moving on to Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's so sad. Yeah, I would rather them sell their IP. I would love that, you know. Christ, I don't care who it goes to now, as long as it's in good hands. Just once it's not EA. And speaking of horror, like, the rumors heating up for a new Dead Space, oh my god. Oh my god. I would be very happy about that. Now, the other rumor is that it's going to be a Dead Space Royale. Oh god, please no. But EA have already got a really good Battle Royale game in Apex Legends. Do they need another? No, they don't. Will they make another? Yes, they fucking will. Will they destroy both? Of course they will. It's EA we're talking about here. As soon as they get their grubby mitts on things, it's not long after until it dies. So, yeah, I would be so down. What I really would like, maybe, is like a remake or a collection of the original Dead Space trilogy. The studio is long since gone now, sadly. But, you know, it does not mean that those wonderful memories and one of the greatest current survival horror games, you know, series that came out, obviously based on, you know, Silent Hill and Resident Evil that came before it. I'd love to see it come back. I don't want to see any kind of horror series die. It sucks. Boom. You do follow? Ah, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited too. So far, all we have is this little trailer. I know I've been showing it on repeat. It's a very small minute and 20 seconds. But yeah, it'll still be cool. If it does turn out just to be an indie game, that's cool too. That's fine. But I think something tells me this could be the perfect time to turn Silent Hill into like proper first person, you know, with the likes of, you know, Layers of Fear and Outlast, more newer horror series that have gone first person. And then, you know, Resident Evil, of course, is nearly all of its new games are all now first person as well. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for Silent Hill to go first person. The closest thing we kind of got for that was, like I was saying, Shattered Memories with the torch, but that game didn't really have any combat in it. You were kind of just, everything would freeze solid. It was a really, really personal story. It was actually a really great game. So it shows that you can still get great stories in Silent Hill. But yeah, it's a series that they need to do justice to, for sure. We did have the whole idea behind PT, which was this crazy little demo that was out on the PS4. It ended up standing for playable teaser, and when people finished it, it showed a tiny little teaser for Silent Hills, which was going to star Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. It was going to be developed like with Guillermo del Toro from like Pan's Labyrinth and so many other fantastic horror movies, and I think even Junji Ito was going to be involved as well, but it all fell asunder after the fallout with Kojima. But you can see, even with PT, what was hiding Silent Hills, you can see that clearly the whole marketing and reveal of what will be the next Silent Hills is clearly, it's just dripping in mystery, and I love that. I love that they're doing that. You know, it's not your average way of revealing a game. It's not just a leak, someone leaving a laptop open or a USB stick plugged in when they shouldn't, or, you know, a little bit of Chinese whispers in an elevator or something. It's not like that. This is clearly well planned out, and we'll see. For now, I wish Blue Box the best. If they are genuinely just an indie studio working on a simple horror game, then that's fine. I'll play it, and I wish them all the best. But my God, the amount of rumors and people that have come in contact with them now, all thinking that this could be the next Silent Hill. Pretty exciting. Exciting all the same. Like, it's super hard for indie devs to get that kind of exposure. And, you know, you want things to go viral and get that kind of exposure in a good way, you know. And this kind of mistaken identity, if that's what it is, that could lead to a lot of bad blood. Because, unfortunately, the internet, it also, like, you know, it never forgets, but it also forgets immediately. But my God, they will burn villages to the ground when they find this stuff out. Like, the whole cancel culture stuff is just pathetic. It's a horrible waste of time, you know. If you know, that kind of stuff, you see it every day now. It used to be every couple of months. Now it's every day. If there's genuine foul play, go to the goddamn police. No God fucking canceling people on Twitter. It's so silly. So I could see this happening to this developer. That's why I bring it up, you know. Like, it's a silly online thing. Where you just got fans going this way and that way. They do it like, I guarantee you, anytime, even like something like Dead by Daylight, as soon as like a update happens that people aren't happy, there's probably instant death threats, you know. And if any of these silly little keyboard warriors' parents knew what they were up to, they'd get a smack around the head. For sure. They need to be taught some goddamn manners. A lot of them. That's why I was saying, like, you know, imagine if the internet was, you know, not anonymous. Half these people would not act like that, right? I swear to God. So yeah, I wish the best for the developer. I hope to God, if it doesn't turn out to be Silent Hill, I hope the internet doesn't come after them. Because honest to God, people got their torches and their pitchforks ready already. And it's crazy. It's crazy. it's just wild to see, like, you know, it's called social media for a reason, but I think, to me, I see it as one big social experiment, and just to see how the masses react, you know, and how quick these things can snowball out of control. Yeah, it's interesting. As someone like me who enjoys rumors around video games, really, that's about it. I don't know, we are kind of drawn to that, you know. It's something you're like, I don't want to know until I know, but also just let me see a little bit more. I mean, I'm guessing it's why so many rumor mills and rumor tabloids and all that kind of stuff, why they sell so well, because it must be some part of our own biology or psychology that we like this kind of stuff. Like, look what's going on right now with poor Britney Spears. God help her. I wish the best for her too, you know. Shit, like, we all grew up, if you're around my age, you all grew up listening to her music and watching that fall out, and it's just horrible. But anyway, I'm going off track here talking about stuff, but it is interesting to watch for sure. I'll keep an eye out. We definitely are getting new Silent Hill games. Now, whether Abandon has anything got to do with it remains to be seen. But yes, I'll keep you all updated. It's exciting times for horror fans. I love it. Apparently next year we're going to be getting a Resident Evil Revelations 3. If you haven't played the Revelations game, they're so good. First one is Jill on a spooky ghost ship. Second one is Claire in a very Silent Hill inspired world. Very cool. So I'd love to see what they do there. And obviously Resident Evil 9 will come down the line. Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. And will Dead Space come back? Oh, I'm excited. That is today's daily dose of gaming. I will let you guys know if Silent Hill does happen to turn into Abandoned. It could, like, the last Silent Hill games had a subtitle like Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Downpour. Could this be Silent Hill Abandoned? I don't know. Who knows? I'm excited!